Hello everyone, I'm Exodia, and today we are doing episode 3 of our Roblox beginner scripting series. I already have a script in server script service, which I will go into now, and today we will talk about debugging your code, attributes, and return. The first thing we'll start off with is debugging. Debugging is a really useful tool when you're scripting in Roblox. It allows you to pinpoint maybe a bug or an error in your code to see what's not working so you could fix it. So we'll just do a super simple example. We know with functions that when we make a function, hello, hello, we know this is how you make a function. However, let's say we were making our function, but we forgot something. Like, let's say we forgot the end. Obviously, this would error and our function wouldn't work. What we can do is say we had, let's say we had a another function which local function call hello, and let's say we had this function to call the hello function, so it would call hello, and then call hello. So here, this we'll call the hello function through the call hello function, which is, I probably could name that better, but as you can see, we're getting that error again. Now, what debugging can be used in a situation like this, which is a pretty simple situation. Obviously, when you're scripting and you want to debug your code, you're gonna have something much more like advanced to debug. So here we could do a print, and the reason that we're getting this end here is because we took away the end in the first function. Don't do this normally. This is not good practice. This is just for the sake of the example. So we'll print call function works, and then we'll also do a print in our hello function to debug, print hello function works. Now we're probably going to get an error again, and that is because we don't have the end on here. So let's actually, instead, what we could probably do would be, now this, for the sake of the example, I know we haven't learned about this yet, but we're going to look at an if statement. So we're going to have a value local can call equals true if can call equals, we're going to write an if statement. If can call equals true, then I will make a, do not worry about if statements right now. There will be a video covering them in depth with another topic and relation. But we'll do if can call equals true. And then we will set can call, then let's do this. Let's take away, because when you write an if statement, you need to have two equal signs. We'll take away one, because that'll have an error. Now we will have, before this, print. This will be a better way to debug, yeah. So print function was called, and we'll do another print getting ready to say hello. Yeah, this is a better sake of when we need to debug our code, because we need to find out what is causing the error in this line. So usually maybe we'd put a simple print just to make sure everything's working beforehand, and then after what we think is causing our error, we put a print to see if that's really what caused the error. Now, of course, in the sake like this, it won't print beforehand because this is causing this line, this error we have is causing the whole function to yield. But in the case if say we had a situation like this, where our code wasn't bringing an error in the output, which does happen oftentimes. You could do a print beforehand and then a print afterhand for the thing that you believe is causing the error, and then you can determine if that's truly what the problem is from there. I know this wasn't exactly a good example, but I just wanted to include debugging as it's a small thing that's useful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, because I could do a better job of explaining it there. So next we'll move on to attributes, and there are a few methods built into Roblox for attributes, which attributes are a super useful thing added to Roblox finally. Less than 2 weeks ago. And so the first thing is that we will create a part in our workspace. And then if we go into the properties tab and look all the way down, scroll all the way down, we'll find this attributes section. We can add a string, boolean, number, udim and udim2. This works with GUI. We'll look at that later on. Brick color, color 3, vector 2, vector 3, number sequence, color sequence, number range, and rect values. Right now we'll do 2 values, which is a string, which we'll call name. Call this part for now. And then we will do a number and just call this number. So what we can do in our script is we can set a variable for our part, and then we can do local name equals part. And the first method we could use here is part::get attribute. What this does is it gets the attribute of the name we provide in the parameter of the method. So here we will do name. And then if we were to print name, then the output, you see the name, the attribute's value is printed. So then there's another thing we could use with attributes, and that is setting the attributes. So name, how can we do this? Name equals part::set attribute. Yes. So here we are taking the name and we are setting it to a new value with set attribute. Set attribute has 2 parameters. The first one being the name of the attribute we want to change. In this case, it will be name. And then the second parameter will be the value. And here we'll do dog. And then we can print name. We're getting nil, and this is probably because it believes we're setting it to it's probably because our second parameter is returning nil. So in this case, let's get the number, and let's see what happens if we were to change the number. So part::get attribute number, print number, and then we'll do oh wait, maybe we could just do part. Actually, I believe if we want to set the attribute, we do not need to set it to variable. So part::set attribute, and then we'll set the name to dog, and then we will set number to 1. I believe we just wrote it wrong, and that was the issue. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, we set the attribute. I'm sorry about any inconveniences, but I'm a bit new to attributes because they are a really recently added feature, and it took me a little bit to understand them. They are pretty simple when you get the hang of it, but I haven't really been using them as much because I haven't been working in a situation where I need them. Usually, to apply them to when you're making a game, it makes it a lot easier to create a tool. Say you want to create a sword, you can make a swing delay time, like the swing delay between like when you could attack, the damage, before you'd have to make before you'd have to make a bunch of values inside of like the tool, and it would make it really disorganized. So attributes are really useful for your organization of your objects, when especially with like tools and cars and other stuff that you're making with them. If you have any questions though about this as well, leave it in the comments. But there's also two more things we could talk about with attributes before we move on. And that would be when you getting when it changes. So in Lua, there's ways you could detect when a value changes. For example, if you wanted to get when a number value changes, you could do value.change connect function, because that's a built-in function. In this case, we'll do part get, or part attribute, or no, part dot attribute changed. Usually when there's that lightning bolt, it's a built-in method, and you tag on a connect function, because you're making a function basically with it, and then drop a line, and that'll drop our end down. And this will work like a normal function if we were to make it ourselves, but it's just built in the Roblox Studio. So here, we can detect when our attribute changes. So this could detect when any attribute changes, rather than any attribute inside the part when that changes, opposed to a specific one. If you want to get when a specific attribute changes, then you could do part get attribute change signal, and then we put the name of the attribute connect function. Now here we can check when a specific attribute's value is being changed, and so local name value equals part get attribute name print name value. And so this should trigger when our name is changed. But yeah, that's really all there is to attributes. I'm sorry if it wasn't really as good of an explanation, because I'm a bit new to them, as well as you guys, because I haven't had the time to learn it in and out. There isn't really many methods or much to learn about them, so it's a pretty simple topic, and over time, when you're working with them more and more, it'll become easier to use them. So don't worry, it could seem overwhelming at first with some stuff, but the more you use them, I assure you, you'll get better with them. So then the last thing that we will cover today is a lot simpler, and that is returning. Now returning simply allows you to return a value in a function. So we can combine variables and functions and set a variable equal to a function. So let's make a function right here, function my value, and then we're going to put some parameters in here, a and b. And then inside here, we're just going to multiply a by b. And then we're actually going to make our variable local result equals a times b. And then we're going to return the result. And so we'll make a function, or make a variable. So local number equals my value, and then we'll set 2 and 3, and then if we print number, then you see we get 6. Return basically allows you to get a value from a function. So you could set a variable, then you can return that value as the variable from your function. Also, in some cases, returns can break out of a looper function. That's more so what break will handle, because you'll use that more for breaking loops. Return is dominantly for returning a value back to you. So yeah, but we'll get into breaking loops when we learn about loops, because that's what it's primarily used for. Return is primarily used in your functions to return the value. So yeah, that's everything. If you need help with anything, let me know in the comments. I will reply to everybody to the best of my abilities. I apologize for this tutorial not seeming as good. If you need any help with something like attributes, I think I did an alright job, but I think there is a better job that somebody's done, so I will link their video in the description. So yeah, see you guys.